Hey everyone, welcome to the Clydesdale After Dark. I have with me my two friends, Cat Shear and Cheryl Nasso, two of the participants in the age group online qualifier. And we're going to go ahead and wrap up what that was like to do all 5 of those workouts this weekend. And it is now 4 o'clock Eastern time on Sunday as we're recording this. The leaderboard has not locked in with all 5 workouts yet. We are looking at that, and hopefully it'll pop in here in the next few minutes. But let's start with test 1. Cheryl and Cat both did that, so let's hear how it went. Let's start with Cat.
Okay, so that one, the handstand push-ups were easy for me. That's sort of, my strength. The row was definitely a rest, like you guys had predicted. For someone at my level, who's like not trying to qualify for the games, just get through the workout, I just really paced the row. The push press with the dumbbells was challenging. It was hard. I really had to start using my legs a lot more than my arms, and I found myself not even being able to sort of cycle them quickly. I had to sort of bring them down, take a breath, and then do another one. I went my first round unbroken, probably not a good idea. And the next 3 rounds, I rested twice on the handstand push-ups and twice on the push press. Like I had to put those dumbbells down and pick them up again twice. So not the greatest, but I was happy that I finished. I forget my score was like 18 something. So under the time cap, pleasantly surprised.
Awesome.
Cheryl?
Yeah. So I obviously was in a little bit of a different situation where I'm like, man, I gotta crush the row. I gotta crush everything on this. Kat, I'm gonna ask you now because let me just tell you guys both, my triceps are sore. Like so sore. I did not get that after the quarterfinals for the individuals or the teams. So I do think that this was a much better test personally than the test for the individuals. Going to be completely honest. I think that it would have been cool to see some strict handstand push-ups in there, but that's because I really hate kipping. I just really think it's just a dangerous movement on your neck. Like I was dreading waking up the next day, having that feeling of whiplash. I didn't have it, thank God. Much like Kat, I will say that this one is that managing that shoulder fatigue is real. And I think what a lot of people underestimate on a shoulder to overhead movement is the amount of core engagement. And for me, that's what I feel like went on me. I feel like I was having a really hard time stabilizing to where like I was like noodle arms and like my core was like very broken on the overheads and I was having a really hard time. So like the woman that was going after me, she was in the 45 to 49 division. I'm like, hey, bring your weight belt out there just in case you might feel a little bit better on the shoulder to overhead. And she did. And she was like, that was the best thing you ever told me to do. Because when she started to get tired, she put it on and she instantly felt her core like that. Little bit of support really made a difference. And it's not a movement that you would typically think you need a brace for, but just to have that little bit of extra support gave her a little bit of an advantage. So yeah, definitely a really good test. Like I said, I think that the fatigue after this one was way different than after event 1 the first time around, for sure.
Yeah, I felt my triceps in the first round of the push press, and it was very reminiscent of, and I don't know, you haven't heard this story, Cheryl, but when I got rhabdo a few years ago, it started in my tricep to the point where I couldn't bend my arm. You know, like when you can't straighten your arm, I couldn't bend my arm. So like I couldn't bend more than about this. And it was that same sensation. I felt it and it went like right to my head. As soon as I felt it in that first round, I was like, oh no, this is this feeling again. I can't have this again.
Yeah, it was rough for sure.
So then test 2 comes along and Kat strategized that one. So let's start with Cheryl this time. There's too many C's. I'm getting my tongues tied. So Cheryl, how did test 2 go for you?
I'm going to be honest. I feel like because I compare myself obviously to the people in the individuals as well. I literally, it has to be the rope climbs because I did not break on the GHGs. I did not break on the pistols. My goal was just go faster on the pistols this time, Cheryl. And my time was in the 14s. And I'm like, people were finishing this plus the 30s in the 14s. And I'm like, okay, granted, like there were people that obviously are taller than me, but it was the same exact feeling as I got on the first time around. It's just like not having the strength in my midline to like get my knees up high enough. So my rope climbs were a lot slower than I would have liked them to be, where I can normally get up the rope in 2 to 3 pulls. It was taking me 4 to 5 pulls, but it was because I was trying to go like smaller and faster. Whereas the first time I did this workout, I was almost taking a little bit too long to try and get that big pull. So definitely the same fatigue as I felt last time. I think I was actually more sore this time around for whatever reason. Maybe it was from because I did, just to give you guys, I did 4 workouts on Friday. I didn't have time to do any on Thursday. So I pretty much rested a couple hours, and then I hit the front squat and then the pistol one. I did event 1, and then I did the front squat and then the pistols. So that's how I felt. I felt more taxed afterwards.
And so, Kat, you strategize this one. Do you want to explain that, or do we just want to move on?
No, that's fine. This is damage control for me. So I don't train GHDs. I don't have a GHD. I probably haven't done more than 50 GHDs in the last 2 years. So I wasn't about to try this workout. So I went to my old gym that had a GHD. I did 10 GHDs and I called it a day. And I just said, I'm not going to do this one. It'll wreck me for the weekend. And I wanted to do well in some of the other ones. And, again, my goals are different than yours. So I was able to get away with that and still, maintain a good spot on the leaderboard. In spite of that one. So
yeah, I think that's smart for a lot of people. And I think for a lot of people that are doing this workout and giving you some feedback as well as a coach too, is something that I had the other girl that was there doing, because she didn't do GHDs very much at all. And she was in the 45 to 49, is she literally got off the GHD. She would do like 10 and then like get off and like walk around a little bit. So she wasn't like trying to kill herself on the GHD. She was like really managing her fatigue on it to make sure that she wasn't, the girl that did the team qualifiers with us, she like doesn't train and she was wrecked. She's like, Cheryl, like my stomach is just so bad. I'm like, no, there's a lot of GHDs you just did. So yeah, but I think that was a smart call.
All right. So test 3 was the clean workout. And let's start with Kat on this one.
Yeah, so I took everyone's advice. I did singles. I am not a single person. I am a grip it, rip it, touch and go kind of gal. I usually come out super hot. So I decided to just chill out on this one. And I think it went well for me. I broke up, did them singles. I did my special plates that don't bounce so much. So I wasn't really moving around. I think I did my last 2 touch and go just because I could. I felt like I wanted to be done. But for me, it was engine, right? I was just so out of breath. Like it wasn't muscle fatigue whatsoever. For me, it's always going to be like I can't breathe and I feel like I'm going to throw up. So that's kind of how that went. And, I walked over to my rope. I banged out, some larger sets and then literally was going in like 10s. I think from 100 to 200, I went 10 at a time because my rests were just a little bit shorter, because if I was going 40 or 50, I would walk around, way too long. So yeah, and I didn't really have a goal on that one. I didn't know how everyone else was doing. So I just kind of went and took my time and finished. So that was my goal for that one too. Just finish under the time cap and live to compete another day.
Yeah. Awesome job.
And that was the 4th workout you did on Friday, correct, Cheryl?
I did that one Saturday morning.
Yeah, I did that one.
I did front squats, then event 1, then event 2 on Friday. And then I did that one on Saturday morning.
Yeah. I did the event 1, the handstand push-up one, front squat, then the pistol one, then that one on Friday. Yeah. So for me, I actually am also I'm not usually a singles kind of girl, especially at 95 pounds. Usually I would be, but I really was like, you know what, Cheryl, like thinking about this mentally, you can be just as fast if you stay diligent and you do not rest at all. So that was my plan going into this one, is like, don't walk away from the bar, don't think. And like I sent you guys my video, I tried, and I was definitely slower, but my goal was like consistency, like be as like and I was, my times, I think my earlier 2 sets of 15, because he was timing it for me, were about 40 to 45 seconds. And then my 3rd round was like 45. I think my last round was like 52 seconds. So they were all pretty close. I don't think I would have been any faster had I touch and go. Maybe if I had done it again, maybe doing like a big set to start and then singles. But I don't know, because it's one of those ones you don't know unless you try it. This is one where I feel like I wish I had had people around me doing the workout, because I think I actually took too much rest in the double unders. For myself, I just think that
Same.
I was almost mentally like thinking of this number 300, whereas I feel like if I had been looking left and right and seeing other people doing double unders, I wouldn't have been thinking like that. I was like I think I got to like 63 and like tripped, and then in my head I'm like, okay, just do 5 to 60. And then I got to like 130 something, and then I got to 190 something, and then I just finished. But it was like I should have. I feel like if I had done it again, if I tripped, I wouldn't have like taken that big second. Like I would have just like went for it. But I think this workout was actually a pretty cool test. The double unders, I think for a lot of people, it's a mental game. This workout was a mental one. It wasn't really about your skill or even a movement like a GHD or a pistol or rope climb. It was literally mentally like it was the equivalent of the wall ball one without as much of the fatigue, like the burn factor for me. I didn't get that as much as I did on the wall ball row one, but it was that same. You got a big chunk to chip away at. Like, how are you attacking this workout?
So then we go into the front squat, and Cheryl, you've done this twice now, and this will be the third time.
Yep.
So I think I saw a video that showed that you did better this time than you did previously, and it was much easier.
So much easier. Yeah, I was freaking stoked because well, the guy's like, well, you also did rest yesterday, because like basically Wednesday, whereas the last 2 times I've done the workout, and this is good advice for anybody out there listening, guys, like, and I'll say this at the end, but making sure that you're going into these workouts like, hey, like I want to do my best chance possible. Both the individuals and the team, I was so stressed about getting everything done that I did one of the workouts and the front squats on Thursday after a very long day of working. So this time I kind of went into it like, yes, I was tired from everything I'd done that day, but I was mentally like just focused on this. I wasn't, out of my routine, which I don't work out after 4 p.m. ever. So that's that was a huge change for me. So I think that was a big advantage. I also just think I was actually very stressed about doing this again. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I did worse on the team one. Like, what am I going to hit today? It just felt so good. I was super excited. And I'll be honest, I would have loved to have seen a different test in the masters. I think it would have been, like I said before, I think it would have been really cool to see like front squat, back squat, overhead squat, or something like that with the different divisions. I think that would have been really cool, but it is what it is. They kept the same.
And Kat, did you hit your goal?
Yeah, I think so. My prior one rep is 205 and I hit 192 for 4. So I was pretty happy about that. I didn't fail. So, part of me is like, well, I probably could have maybe tried 195 or something heavier and just like see if I could have done it. But, it's always my sort of midline stability and mid back, like thoracic spine that tends to go on front squats. And so, I was just I'm very cautious that I don't want this to put me out. And so when I started to feel a little bit of it in that attempt at 192, I was like, I'm good. I had my lifters on, I had a knee sleeve, I had the belt, I was, had all the accessories to sort of help me out. And I figured I'd probably be around 180, 190. So I was happy with 192. And that was the best I did. I placed in the top 100 in my age group in that lift. So that was pretty cool.
That's awesome. I was just talking to Carlene Matthews, and she's like, I only got 197. She was like super disappointed. So
Mm-hmm.
you should be super proud. She's a
Yeah,
veteran,
I'm excited.
Yeah, it's really awesome. So it's amazing how strong these women are getting, though, for sure.
And then we came up on the 30-inch box jump for you women who are slight in stature, and the overhead squats, the sprint workout. So how did that go? Kat, you go first.
Did that one this morning. The overhead squats were heavy. I love overhead squats, but I guess in Metcons, I usually only do maybe 95 pounds, and adding like the extra 20 pounds, really made a difference for me. I saw a couple people wearing weight belts, for that workout after I had done it. And I was like, oh, maybe I should have done that. May have helped, but it probably would have messed me up for the burpee box jump overs, because I have to get my knees like basically like over my head to even jump onto a 30-inch box. But yeah, it went it went well. I finished. That was my goal. I wanted to get under the time cap. I only miffed one of the box jumps, and I had a nice soft Titan box that wasn't very stable, but it didn't go anywhere on me. And I brought out the hard box for the setup, and I went to warm up, and I went to jump, and my legs just like locked straight, and I just like fell over, and I was like, all right, never mind. I'll use the soft box. And so that's what I did. It took a chance because it wasn't very stable. And I was by myself in the garage with no music. You can just hear me panting pretty much the entire time. But sent my video to my judge, and all is well and good. And it's done. So I'm done.
And Cheryl?
So that one was good for me. I liked that workout. I think it was good for my shoulder to not have to do snatches. I was like, oh, thank God I can actually I love overhead squats. I know we've talked about this. They're my favorite movement. I did use a soft box as well. I'm a bull in a china shop with freaking box jumps. I've eaten crap on my shins. I don't even know how many times on those things. What I did, I actually took 2 of the soft boxes together, 2 on the 30-inch side, and I actually attached them so I had a larger platform. And that felt way more stable. Like the box isn't like shaking around anywhere. I actually like this workout. I did hit the box once, but it was soft, so no issues, no injuries. I liked it. I was explaining to one of the other guys at the gym is I think that these workouts were really reminiscent of how you would feel like in a regional event, where like this last one, it reminded me of like the thruster rope climb one from, I think, was it 2015 or 6? I forget what year it was, where it was like a sprint to the finish and like the leaderboard just went like crazy. And I think that this was another cool one like that. Definitely, I like this workout. I think it was cool. My only real thing is like, I feel like for the ladies that are in that like 45 to 50 to 55, like we've talked about this. I just think that it doesn't make sense that the teams would do a lower box for females and that they would have that high of a box for, in whether they can do it or not, great. We also know that the teams can do it. So why didn't the teams have the same standards as everybody else was my thing is if you're gonna lower the box for anybody, I don't think it should have been the teams. And who knows, that could have been a mess up, like at the end of the day, that could have been a, something that they didn't think about,
a typo that they're not going to go back and fix. I had 3 men on my Instagram when I posted my fall on the box ask me why I was using a 30-inch box. They're like, I'm pretty sure it's 24 for you. I'm like, nope, it's not. It's 30, but thanks for reminding me that I might be doing it wrong, but I'm not.
So my favorite part of your video is every time you went to jump, you took like a deep breath in and your shoulders, and then you jump.
I had to like set myself and psych myself up for it, for sure. It took everything I had to jump.
But you both finished.
Yeah.
And so that's awesome. To get over that mental hurdle and still beat the time cap, it's pretty cool, Cat. So
did you do like clean and jerk, or did you snatch? What was your standard? What was your thought there?
I thought I'd be able to snatch it, but I didn't. I cleaned it and then just popped it over my head, adjusted my grip, and then went right into it. I figured that would be easier than trying to do like a squat clean on the first one. I have a tendency to go shallow on my first squat for whatever reason. So I just wanted to make sure I didn't do that either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I actually went clean and jerk mostly for the fact that I like to do a closer grip overhead squat, say for my shoulder. And that was the right call for me. I felt like no issue, like the squats were fine. So that definitely, I think for the other thing I'll say about this workout is the comparison from the individuals to this one. The individuals was a snatch workout. This one was really a box jump workout. Yeah. Is like the flip for me, I think personally.
Yeah.
So the leaderboard is final.
Oh,
not final. It is not final.
It's not official, but it's up.
The 5th workout is in.
Yeah, I've seen. I'm a 23rd. I'm right on that cusp, right? Because if you top 20, is that right?
Yeah. Top 20 go.
They gotta look at videos.
They gotta look at videos. I know. It's crazy though, looking at the difference, right? Because like I'm 90th on that last one. 25 places is literally 11, 12 seconds faster. Right? It's crazy how the difference between, like with these workouts, just kind of also getting some feedback on these strategy wise, is looking at how like one little mistake can make such a big difference, right? Like 12 seconds is nothing, but in these fast workouts, it's a lot,
that one miffed box jump.
Yeah. I mean, look at 59th place is 4:09. So, being about what 20 seconds faster or so would have put me in the 50s and likely would have brought my scoring up quite a bit. So, yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like the girl that got, who's this, Christine Anastario, she was 92nd place and I was 90th place in that one. But because she had such a higher placement on that front squat than I did, she's in 16th. It's crazy, like, I don't know. So who let's go ahead and start. Let's not talk about me. Let's make this about what this really is.
Well, I do have one question I want to ask you, because I'm not a games athlete. Kat's not a games athlete.
Yeah.
So here you are with a leaderboard that has all the workouts on it. And then there's this waiting game as to who's going to get penalized, who's not. What is that like to be in that spot and wait and wait?
I'll be honest. When I qualified the 2019 games through the Open, and I was like, I think I was 2 or 3 spots out of qualifying. And then I think that was the year that Christy didn't do that. I forget what happened with Christy. She either didn't do it or she went team or something.
She went team.
Yeah. She dropped out. And I think one other person that was right in front of me dropped out. And then they were like, hey, we need your videos because you're going to the games. I'm like, what? Okay, cool. It definitely puts this level of like, all right, what am I going to do? I'm going to do the exact same thing as I was going to do tomorrow. At the end of the day, and this is what I was honestly going to say to everybody, and this is, as a games athlete, is like, dude, I've been doing this now for 10 years. And am I disappointed? Of course, I'd love to see myself in that 20th spot. But in reality, like if I think of all of, what I have had going on this past year and all the changes in my life, I'm pretty proud. Like I'm pretty excited. A few weeks ago, I couldn't even overhead squat. Really. I couldn't do any of that stuff. A month ago, it was like jerking that weight overhead would have hurt. And so I feel like at least I know that I'm on the up. And if anything, for me, whether the leaderboard shakes up and I'm going to the games or not, for me, I feel this level of like, I still got it. And when I'm 100% healthy, like things are going to be better, so I think for me, it's actually kind of exciting. I don't know. Yeah, that's pretty much it, I guess,
Yeah.
My big goal is I want to go back as an individual. That's just me. I would love to I would go as a master's in a heartbeat, but I also really want to go back as an individual because I just feel like I have like unfinished business, and I think that I will. I just think that I have to make sure I'm healthy. So prioritize that stuff. So
well,
yeah.
There are a couple people above you on the leaderboard that are going to be competing at the semifinals and could earn their ticket in the open division. Alessandra Pacelli, Sam Briggs, that's 2.
Yep.
And then you just need 1 more.
I think, I wonder if Jennifer Smith.
She is competing at semis.
Yeah, there's quite a few. I would love to just kind of, break down the leaderboard a little bit if you guys want to. I think it's pretty cool looking at some of these, like Alessandra Pacelli, like sitting on the top. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Whitney
Sam
Gallin.
Whitney Gallin, yeah, she used to train with me at CFNE for a little while. For a hot second when she was there.
Alethea Boone.
Yep. Kelly
Achilles
Jackson.
must be much better now. Jumping that 30-inch box.
Yeah. Kelly Jackson. Colleen Lahane is a Southeast competitor, regional competitor, and never made it to the games, but she's from like Jacksonville area. So it's kind of cool seeing her up there. Is Colleen McQuaid? I have no idea. That name sound. I know I'm thinking of the Irish girl, Emma McQuaid.
Emma.
Yeah. Pretty exciting. Chelsea Hughes. She's a team games athlete. I don't remember.
Chelsea's been individual before, I think.
Okay.
Or at least regional. She's been in the Mid-Atlantic regional for a while.
Carlene Matthews. I am excited to see her on the leaderboard. I obviously would love to have seen her going to the games this year because she just had a baby, so I thought it was pretty cool that she was doing so well. What about the men? The Masters is so different.
So we have some former games that Kyle Casper Bauer, Adrian Conway.
Yep.
Dan Bailey.
I see Mr. Dan. That's awesome.
10th
James
place.
Hobart.
James Hobart. Yeah. Former guest, James Hobart.
Zach Forrest just outside of a qualifying spot. Jordan Troyan, weren't we just talking about him last time?
I think so.
26th. Dan Tominski at 33. Some of those former, it's still crazy seeing some of these people that you don't even know about. I think that for a lot of people, they assume that the Masters are like all going to be previous games athletes, and likely they maybe aren't. You know, the people probably, some of these are probably regional competitors that were just on the cusp of making it in years past.
Right.
So
Our buddy Jamie Freeze, 43rd. He's a MFC guy.
oh, very
He's
cool.
over at CrossFit Trivium.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Really cool. So, I mean, I feel like I need to keep my head in the game because I have a feeling like Scott says, I might be going to the games, which does change things right now, right? You know, I think a couple of things I felt like I wanted to talk about today, and Kat, maybe you can, is like the whole season this year. I do think it's been much better so far. Is like, you know, this is my first experience with the age group online qualifiers, but I think it's so far, I feel like everything's been way more streamlined, way more organized. And even going back to like, yeah, the games was cool with games or the open and the regionals, but I think that this is like really cool and systemized in a good way. And I like that. So Katter, what is your plan this week in terms of recovering from these workouts?
Well, I'm going to celebrate first because I'm in the top 200 of my age group. And
Yeah.
I always told people when I qualified top 10%, I sort of poo-pooed it because I was like, oh, they raised the bar. It's not top 200 anymore. You know, I didn't come close to top 200. I was like 842 coming into the open. So the fact that I'm in top 200 now, I feel kind of legit. Like,
That's awesome.
this was the open, I would have actually been, you know, qualified to the age group online qualifiers. So I'm going to give myself a pat on the back for that.
And our friend Eamon Coyne made it. He was 13th.
I was going to say, Eamon, it's so funny that you say your friend. I forgot you all are like masters. He is awesome, by the way. He was such a fun person he was at CrossFit New England for a little while too. So I do know him.
Yeah, we just had him on Wednesday night.
He's an awesome guy. He really is.
Very happy for him.
He's made it. Guido made it from Peak 360, which is where Noah's from. Who else on that list is somebody? Nuno Costa. He's a endurance guy for Invictus. I know that. It's funny though. I don't know who this like David Johnston is, or I mean, like the top three people. I don't know. Let's go to women. Did Rebecca Voigt take it? No.
She was an 8th coming in.
Rachel Green.
That name sounds really familiar.
She was on Friends.
OC3.
She dated Ross.
Yeah.
Funny.
Kelly on a break.
Steele, Laura Nielsen, I believe. Nope, that's not who I'm thinking of. Rebecca was number 7th. Yeah.
She's been on our show.
Looking to see anybody else.
Lori Barth, she and I took our level 2 together. She's at Savage CrossFit up here in my neck of the woods. She's a beast.
Michelle Benedict. Oh my gosh. Is this who I'm thinking?
Yes.
Old school, like original, like OG CrossFitter.
She was at the games. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Like one of the videos I probably watched when I first started CrossFit. Like,
yeah. And she's gorgeous.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Long brown hair.
Yep, that's her. Telena Fortunato in 38th place.
She's a new mom.
Yep. It really is crazy how many moms there are now. Let's see. And then from there, we go to what? The 45 to 49. That's your division, right, Kat?
Yep. Janet Black, of course. Always on the top.
Yeah. You know who I didn't see? Whose name am I? What about that Stephanie? What's her name? Stephanie.
Wow.
You've had her on your podcast.
Yeah, she's in the last age group. She's in the top 10. She's 40 to 44.
Stephanie, yeah, that's her. Yeah, she's really awesome. I met her at in 2019. We both dropped into the same gym and we were just like chit chatting. She's a super nice girl. Let's see, 45 to 49. Annie Sakamoto.
Yep.
Still got it.
And Tracy O'Connell, she's local to my area too.
Really cool.
Nice her name.
Oh man. Well, Scott, you got me all nervous now that I might be going to the games. I mean, I should be excited, right?
You should be.
I know I should be.
Well, in the
Jake-
50 to 54 women, we're all at the Masters Fitness Collective, 3 of the top 4. Dee Dee Hoffman, Tia Vesser, and Julie Rappaport.
Yeah.
That's cool. Really cool. I mean,
That was a very heated competition at Masters Fitness Collective last year.
It was. They were right on each other's asses the whole time.
Yeah. I think that I'm pretty excited with these workouts. I think that they all were pretty good. Like I said before, I think that these were honestly a way better test than the individuals. I'd be honest. I think that I had more, I don't know. I just liked them better than the individual ones. Not all. I mean, I just think that, like maybe it was the handstand push-up one I think was better. I mean, the pistol GHD was the same. You know, I just think that they were a little bit better of a test personally, but I liked them.
Guys, somebody upset David Hippensteel in the men's 65 plus, Thomas Ackerman.
Well, David's probably not games ready yet.
It's true.
What about the teens? So I mean, they're all doing this too, right? So this was their thing too.
Yep.
I got to be honest. These team like Mallory O'Brien, isn't she qualified as an individual too?
Correct. Yeah. This is like her backup plan, probably.
Yeah. It's crazy. 215.
Notably absent is Emma Carey, who decided not to compete as a team.
She didn't want a backup plan.
Yep. She didn't want one. Which
She
speaks volumes.
Yeah.
Well, I know it's Mother's Day and I don't want to keep people too long. We've been on a half an hour. Congratulations to both of you. You both did awesome. It's so cool that my friends are this awesome and I get to cheer them on. And my other co-host, Amy, she killed it this weekend too. We don't want to leave her out. I got to judge her on one event. It was so fun. And she really did awesome. She had the same problem with the 30 inches though, a pause before every one to kind of get her courage up. But yeah, so you guys, you're incredible. Thank you so much for sharing your experience over the weekend. And Cheryl, hopefully a couple of people qualify for the open division. And
you gotta stay fit now.
We'll see you in Madison.
Oh, I don't even know how to not be fit. It's supposed to just try. I don't do too much. So yeah.
But then when we go to Madison, we'll have you there as a correspondent actually competing.
There you go.
That'd be awesome.
So with that, we'll let everybody get back to their mothers and dinners and all of that stuff, or whatever work they need to get done before the work week starts. And we'll see you next time on the Clydesdale After Dark.
See ya.